Hey everyone. So we're going to talk today about what it means to heal and what it means to get help. Because I think that this is an important part of the process, and it really is kind of the foundation to anybody that is dealing with um, any mental health struggles out there, especially men that are going through this. Because let's be honest, most of us have been taught or have been shown to not share your feelings and or not seek out help. We have to try and fix everything ourselves. Well, that's fine, but we're not a 1980s Camaro. We're not a Ford pickup truck. We're not a toaster. We're not a computer. We're not a house to renovate. We're a little bit more complex. Mental health issues most certainly are. And as far as I'm concerned, the best thing you can do for healing is to find appropriate help. Now, there are a number of different options. If you check in the comments, I'm going to be updating some regional listings, some phone numbers for resources that can help you get in touch with people that can help. But let's look at a few different options that are out there. Probably the most accessible is a type of group counseling or support group. Now, we want to make jokes about support groups and how foolish they can be, a bunch of guys sitting around in a room. But let's be completely honest about it. Take a fairly recent movie, Avengers Endgame. Actually, there's a few Avengers scenes with Captain America, as well as the Falcon. Yeah, character being in support groups, because hey, even the strongest people get something out of being in a situation where they can talk things through and feel like they're being heard. And that's the biggest thing, getting into a situation where you can feel like you're being heard and you're not being judged. Because if you haven't been told it, let me be the first person to tell you, you're absolutely worthy of being heard, listened to, and you're absolutely worthy of being respected. This goes for guys and ladies, men and women, both. Nobody deserves to feel devalued in any situation. So that's the great thing about group therapy, well, not group therapy, support group, or group counseling, depending on the type, the format. And some people, that's a short-term solution, and that's fine, wonderful. But getting into a situation where you're with like-minded people who can help you, it's always a great option. From there, moving into types of one-on-one counseling, and this varies dramatically depending on regions and whatnot. There can be massive costs associated to it, or you might even be able to find something that is at low or subsidized cost, depending on your situation. But having somebody as a regular scheduled counseling session it's like having a mentorship. It's like having just another person on your team. You know, every racing team out there has a crew chief that looks after the operation of that team during a race, pre, post, and during. So think of a counselor as, maybe could be a crew chief if you're just starting out and you don't know what direction, but just another member of your team. And that's the biggest thing, is to feel like you've got support. You can't have healing without support. That's the big topic here. And going out and reaching for it. But reaching out for it, that's scary. Coming from somebody who has done it, yeah, it absolutely is scary. It's scary sharing personal feelings with people. But the reward for you guys is that when you discuss and disclose verbally those things that are those problems that you're having, you can actually solve them. You can actually look at them, and especially if you're sharing them with one or more people, you can actually start looking at solutions, figuring out ways of dealing with this. And that's the awesome part. That's the road to healing. So look, if you are concerned about getting involved with any sort of counseling or support scenario, hey, the most reasonable option, talk with your doctor. If you don't have a doctor, try and find one. If you're in a situation where healthcare can be very difficult, ask colleagues for a recommendation on a physician. Use an excuse for, hey, I was doing sporting activity, pulled my ankle, I'm feeling a little tightness in my ankle, wouldn't mind going and seeing a doctor about it. Use a physical excuse. Whatever you want, just so that you don't have to feel like you're being judged. Because honestly, there's a lot of that out there. But yeah, those are some of the directions I would recommend going for, taking a look at, and seeing what's available in your region. The last option that I'll throw out there, and this isn't for everyone, because while it's most accessible, it's also the most likely to run into a volatile situation that you don't want to be a part of. And that's finding communities online. Now, this can range from everything from groups on Facebook, various other services out there. Reddit can be hit and miss. One of the communities I actually do like, and it's weird because you wouldn't necessarily think about it, is honestly twitch.tv. Now why would video game streamers, or well, not just video game streamers, they do all sorts of stuff up on Twitch these days, but why would that be a location? Well, a lot of streamers are going out of their way to try to create reasonable safe spaces, just where people don't feel highly judged, and that they can express themselves and they're welcome. They usually have a reasonable community options that are available, private servers on Discord, that kind of thing, where the content is moderated, and people are just try to welcome. That's a good option for a person who is just stuck for options. They don't feel that they can get access to a doctor, but they're just wanting to be heard. It's an area to reach out. And again, a lot of those times you don't want to take counseling advice through those types of services, but they're there just to feel heard and feel welcomed. And sometimes that's all a person needs to be able to start down the path of healing, is to feel heard and feel listened to. So this one went a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but hey, I hope you found the information useful. If you did, by all means, please subscribe. I'd love to be able to keep in touch with everybody through the channel. Leave a comment down below, and we'll catch you in the next video.